at this moment, as you know, the whole focus is on Gen AI. So my work is really related on Gen AI. We are trying to see how Gen AI can solve business critical issues. It could be from authoring documents to summarization to other things, but it's a lot of fun. I work with a lot of very talented people from various organizations, with Amazons and Googles and Microsofts and everyone else. Like it's an amazing job.
Welcome, Supermoms, to Mom's Talk. I'm Avni, and our today's guest is joining us from New Jersey. She is the Director of Digital Innovation and Strategy at Pfizer. Welcoming Namita Pande.
Thank you
Welcome to
so
the
much,
show,
Avani.
Namita.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is such a pleasure. Looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Namita, digital innovation. What do you do in that? What's the kind of role that you play?
It's a dream role. You have no idea how happy this role gives me, like the happiness that I get from this. It's mainly I am looking into various technologies on that I can bring to Pfizer to solve business critical issues. So there could be anything, but at this moment, as you know, the whole focus is on Gen AI. So my work is really related on Gen AI. We are trying to see how Gen AI can solve business critical issues. It could be from authoring documents to summarization to other things, but it's a lot of fun. I work with a lot of very talented people from various organizations, with Amazons and Googles and Microsofts and everyone else. Like it's an amazing job. So I am very grateful to the role that I have at Pfizer.
That's lovely. If you love to do what you're doing, sky is the limit for you. And
Totally.
that's what is with you, being at this level, at holding this position, it comes with a lot of responsibilities and need a lot of hard work. How was your career path like, Namita? How did you start and how did you get to where you are today?
It has been quite an interesting journey from the career path. So I'm from a very small town in India called Lucknow. And as I was growing up, I wanted to be an engineer. And my parents, we were like three kids, three girls, right? So I have two other sisters. And my father said, go and live your dream. So I went and did my engineering from Bangalore. It used to take me 2 days to travel from Lucknow all the way to Bangalore in a three-tire train, like really tough journey, right? But
Mhm.
I did it because I wanted to. And my father gave me I would say, the green signal to do what I want to do. And I think that was the beginning of my career in some ways because I took that tough path of taking engineering. There were only 4% women at that time in engineering
Mhm.
colleges. And especially in my field, I did it in electrical and electronics. We hardly had girls in that. They were mostly in architecture and other fields, but not so many in electrical and electronics. So I learned to live in men's world, I should say, because I had to
Mhm.
make myself very comfortable and work with men and show them that I'm as good as them. And that takes a lot of, I would say, courage. And there is like you have to be confident about yourself also, right? So I have a lot of
Mhm.
confidence. I can go even today. There are many times in the meetings I'm the only woman in the room, but it doesn't bother me. It's not something that I worry so much about because I've lived in that kind of an era where I was the only woman in the college or in the class or in any of the teams, and so much more. So it has been an interesting journey. And then I came over to America. Got my H1 and started my career here. It's been more than 20 plus years where I've been working in IT industry, never took a break. I love my
Mhm.
job. And I've been always looking into the latest technologies and seeing how I can continue to evolve. So I've been in the AI, ML area and automation. So those are things that I've been doing in the past 7, 8 years. But before that, also, I was more in the digital, more on omni-channel and communications and marketing side. So very interesting journey, but it has been, it's very, I would say you feel good when you sleep, you're feeling good because you feel you're living your dream. So that's the kind of a feeling I get every day. So full of gratitude.
Absolutely, absolutely. When we talk about AI, Namita, everybody is talking about it. There are a lot of benefits of AI, but along with that comes a lot of challenges too. Do you think, what's your opinion about it? What is the other side of AI that you think is not as good as what people think it is?
Whether we want or not, it will be there and it is going to impact everyone's life, everyone's, right? So just how when internet came to the world, it changed all our lives. Then smartphones came, it changed our lives. And so is AI and ML. There is really no going back. It is in everyone's fingertips now, and it is doing stuff that used to take us years to do. Writing a book, which could take so long, now can be done in a matter of months. Like anything and
Mhm,
everything can be consolidated. The time that it used to take human to do anything is now from hours reduced to seconds and from days to minutes. So that's the kind
mhm,
of escalation that you can see, that acceleration of adoption will be there. Everyone can see the beauty of it. The negative side, yes, there has to be lots of rules and regulations to be put in just so that we can make sure that we are using AI responsibly. There has been cases where it has been there are deep fake images that are coming out. There's stuff that is coming up. People can really simulate someone's voice and so much
mhm,
more, right? So there can be misuse of anything and everything, and that is true when internet came, when smartphones came. But putting
mhm,
right rules and regulations, we can govern that, and that's where the most of the majority of the work will be. And even in our offices, the most important thing is how can we make sure that we are compliant, the policies and the guidelines are kept, and the risk is taken. Like we are really looking at from the risk point of view and stuff like that. So that is where the most of the work needs to be done there. And there's a lot to come there. But yes, it is. I feel we need to adopt and move with the change because if
mhm,
we don't, we will feel we are left behind. It is
mhm,
coming. And as with everything, right? Smartphones, we hate it and we love them, right? So you can't live without them, but you also hate them because now they're like they're always there. You don't want the phones to be there. You want to really meet people, but you are not able
mhm.
to, and you still feel connected. So there's pluses and minuses of everything, I guess, and so is with AI.
True, true. Namita, you said you kind of started your career in between a lot of men because that field had very less women in that field. To to pursue something like that, obviously you wanted to become an engineer, but um, having these challenges around you makes it even harder. How were you as a child? Were you always this strong minded and so clear in your thoughts that this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to deal with everything? How was it like with you?
I think I was very strong-minded, and I knew what I wanted from the very beginning. But it's not about whether what I knew. It was the support that I got from my parents that is really important. I may have wanted to be XYZ, but it doesn't really matter if I don't get the support of my parents, or especially my father, who was the main person who used to make decisions. And I feel men do have that power, especially in that generation, to really make solid decisions and see whether to impact kids, right, in a positive way or
Mm-hmm,
in a negative way. So yes, my father was always there. I wanted to be the boy of the family because we were three sisters, and I wanted to do everything that a boy does. So I would go pay bills and the electricity bills. I would go do everything, like anything and everything a boy would do for the family. And then I wanted to be an engineer, and he's like, "Okay, do go live your dreams. If you that's what you want, go ahead and do it." And the confidence that he had and the trust that he had helped me a lot, and I wanted to make him proud. So it's in one way he wanted me to be proud of him, and some way I wanted him to be proud of me. So that mutual admiration of each other really helped us to get where I am today.
mhm, mhm. Namita, when we spoke earlier, you spoke about your personal life, how kind of difficult it has been for you. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Not really. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't mind sharing at all. It has been difficult. So as so I married my sweetheart, my I would say college sweetheart, and we started our career together, and actually he was 3 years senior, so he was working, and I started working afterwards. So I did have a lot of domestic violence going for 19 years when I was with him, and it is silly. Sometimes we don't realize, and I would have never thought that I would be the one who would ever feel, because I'm a strong person. You would think that I'm not the candidate for domestic violence, because you would think a person who's going through domestic violence has to be weak or this and that. But I realized
Mm-hmm.
that domestic violence is not, there's no standard. There's no saying that this type of woman will get domestic violence or will be abused or this one will not be. But in my case, I felt it is even more when you have a strong personality and the man doesn't have that much of a strong personality. They feel very insecure. And
Mm-hmm.
to keep the balance and to make sure that they have the power, they use violence, or they abuse their woman to show that they are in control. And that's what I think happened I still cannot figure out everything, why and what, but this is my story. So this is what I feel happened in my personal life. He was a very smart man. He was very educated. If you meet him, people would say, oh, he's cool as a cucumber. But only if you see him within the doors, within the house, you would see, oh my gosh, he had rage like crazy, right? He would not know how to take a small thing and manage it well. He like
Mm-hmm.
small issues and manage it, right? So anything wrong that happens, it would be like escalated. It would become a big problem and stuff like that. And then he did not know how to handle it. Everything would come down to me. It would be like, it's my problem. If this happened, you did this, and that's why this happened, and so everything. And then it was a problem. So that's for 19 years I went through that, and then it was crazy because with domestic violence came, because he would feel bad. He would there was depression. I think there was definitely some depression on him with him too. So with that, he would drink, and drinks would bring
Worse the
more rage.
situation.
Yeah, more situations,
Mm-hmm.
more rage, and he would be able to. I don't know exactly the words what I would say, but it would be like it just became a cycle. So it's
Mm-hmm.
drinks, then there's rage, and then he feels bad, then there's depression, and then the next day, because he's feeling so depressed, he would drink more. He would drink more, then again the situations will happen, and then there's again he feels bad, and then there's depression. So it was a cycle. It kept on
Mm-hmm.
going and on and on and on and on. So that was something which I lived for 19 years, and then after 19 years of my marriage, 6 years back, he had a car accident, and he passed away.
Well, you were with him for all these many years,
I was with him,
despite of what was happening to you.
and that is something which I wish I had the courage to leave. I wanted to leave, and I tried many, 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 many times to leave. But the abuser really knows how to control the person. So what they do is they know your weaknesses, right? So first it would be, okay, you are worried about your cultural issues, you're worried about your parents, you're worried about XYZ, a lot of other things. And then you're like, I don't care about any of this. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. And you leave. And sometimes you also think that, okay, your love will change this person. Things will get better. You think he's crying, he's apologizing. It will never happen again. And you try to move on. But sometimes it's not always rosy. It doesn't happen like that. So you tried that for a couple of years. You think, okay, you have a kid, maybe that will change, but that doesn't happen. Later, when I was confident that I have to leave him, and I left him and not once, but many times for 15 days or something, he would take medicines, like he would take 15 medicines and send out videos that he's dying, or he would cut his hands and stuff like that. So you get the threat of suicide, and you don't want that person to die for your sake.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, you know what? You're going through so much trauma. The kids are going through so much trauma. Let's go back. And then start praying and hoping that he will get better and he will take the help that he needs. You take them to psychologists, you take them to therapists, you take them everywhere to see what help they can get. But they don't tell the truth, so they won't get the help. The problem is
Mm-hmm.
they never tell the truth. And so they never get the help. Because they never get the help, the situation never gets better. So one thing I can say, if someone is going through domestic violence, these are all dramas that these men do, or your partners. I would say not even just men, it could be women too, but it could be anyone, right, who's doing it. It's just a drama. Do not believe in, do not think that they will actually commit suicide. These are just buttons that they're pushing to make sure that you don't leave. They want you, they need to control you, and that's their power. They do things to just control you. And sometimes you realize all this much later, because when you're dealing with it, you just don't know what you're going through. You have so many emotions going on at that time that you really don't understand what is right, what is wrong, how to handle what, because you're managing your kids, you're managing your own emotions, and you're managing a broken family. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. And the other thing I would say is there's really no standard, right? There's a person who may look amazing and very cool. You don't know what that person is behind the doors. So
Mm-hmm.
something to keep in mind. Don't think that this person can never do that. But yeah, it's anything is possible behind the doors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Namita, usually what happens is if we are kind of upset with something when our in our personal lives, it affects our professional life too. Unlike yours, you kept moving. You know, you kept climbing up the ladder despite of this turbulent experiences and personal life that you were living through. How did you manage to do that? How did you manage to leave that behind and just completely focus at what you want to do at work, which is a very good thing to do? How did you manage to do that?
So work was my safe haven in all this. It was the place where I felt very safe, and I felt valued, and I felt not judged. Everywhere else, it was like, yes, at home, because there was so much turbulence going on, the only thing I could do was, if I went to work, I can't think of stuff that's going at home. When I used to come back on my drive back, I used to be worried. I don't know what the day will be like today. It used to be that bad. I used to be really, really worried. Sometimes I would cry on my way back because I know how bad it can be the night. But when I was at work, I would forget all that has happened at home, and it would give me peace. So that was one thing that really helped me move forward, because otherwise I would have lost myself if I was home. If I was home during COVID, I don't know what would have happened. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, because I can't imagine. So yes, being home 24 by 7 with a person, and that was the reason why you may have heard that the domestic violence cases have gone up really,
Mm-hmm.
really high during COVID. 1 in 7 women, 1 in 4 women, and 1 in 7 men have been impacted by domestic violence
Mm-hmm.
as of 2022 data. So that's a lot we are talking about. We're talking about 20 million people in within US getting impacted. Every minute, 20 men or women are getting impacted with domestic violence at this time. That's the ratio that they are giving for 2022. So when you look at that number, it is so you are just one of them. The problem is,
Mm-hmm.
when you're going through these things, especially when I was going through this 6 years or even 19 years back, right? Um, there was no talk about it. People were not talking about domestic violence. It was something you feel ashamed about. I was very
Mm-hmm.
ashamed that, because if I tell anyone, people be like, "Why are you staying with him? You should leave." And I know that I should leave, but I can't leave because I don't feel safe leaving him. Neither I feel
Mm-hmm.
safe leaving him because he's living with him because he's upset all the time. Neither I'm feeling safe leaving him because what if he dies? So there were two things that were always in my mind. I don't want him to die. I don't want us to be unsafe, but I did not know what the balance is. So I was just praying to God that he gets better, and I will fix him with my love and with my affection. But that love and affection doesn't go anywhere at the end of the day. It gets abused
Mm-hmm.
further. So what I felt is that somewhere I think the point I was trying to make was that there was not enough information on domestic
Mm-hmm.
violence, on what kind of safe houses are available, on what kind of resources are available. Police used to come to my house, cops used to come to my house because I had to call them when things used to go very bad. But they would never tell me about the resources because they thought I'm from a rich family, I'm educated, and I would know exactly what I need. But I did
Mm-hmm.
not know because I never looked into it. I was looking how to manage a man with domestic violence issues.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked how to manage what resources are available within America to help people who have domestic violence partners. I never looked into that. I never thought there is something available. Recently, I've seen there's a lot more media about it. There are documentaries, there are series about it. There's so much
Mm-hmm.
more talk about it, even in Hindi cinema, even in Bollywood, right? There were some movies that have come out which are talking more about it. But when I was going through, I did not know any single person who was going through my kind of issue. I felt
Mm-hmm.
so alone and lonely, as if I'm the only one who is going through this and no one
Did
else.
you share it with anybody, family, friends, any help
I
that you
did
asked
I
for?
did one or two people, but they were so the other piece is that I would say I did share it with some, right? But you feel no one is able to help you unless until you help yourself, and you need to have the guts to leave. They would say, "Why are you staying with this person? You should leave. You should leave him." But I didn't have the means to leave because I'm an immigrant and I'm living in this country. I don't have enough resources. I don't know where to go. And
Mm-hmm.
then if I go to a hotel or I go to a friend's house, he creates a scene there. What will happen then? I feel more embarrassed. So there's a lot of feeling of shame and a lot of feeling of embarrassment. And so had I known about the safe houses, that would have been ideal for me to go to, because
Mm-hmm.
then it's more of the government to help. I'm not ashamed of my husband or someone creating a scene in front of my friend's house. And then I can't face my friend because now
Mm-hmm.
you feel terrible, like the person did something xyz in front of their house or in their house and made a scene, right? So those kind of things, I wish I knew about the resources that were available, but I did not. And I didn't have parents here, so I can't go talk to them and tell them that I'm coming to your house. So with your parents, you feel like, yes, you take it for granted, you can go to their house, but
Mm-hmm.
my parents were in India, so that didn't work out. So yes, so I felt very lonely, felt very almost like the only person who's going through this stuff. I did not know anyone else. But now I hear so many more cases, and yeah, so it's
Something you would want to, a piece of advice that you would want to give to women.
there are few pieces of advice that I would like to give. One is that I don't think there's a silver lining. If there is a person who is treating you badly, who is abusive, leave that person, because you think you will fix him, you think your love will fix him, you think your kids' love will fix him. Most likely, that person will not get fixed because it's his subconscious behavior. And his subconscious behavior may come from his own family history, it may come from somewhere else, we don't know. But it is not that they want to do it, but they just don't know any better to control a situation. This is what they do. I have not seen any cases where people have got better unless until you put fear on them that if you do this, then this will happen or something. But generally, I've not seen anyone. That fear goes away and then it happens again. So leave the person. If not for you, just think of your kids, because when they are seeing all this trauma, they're seeing all this, it is a very bad impact for boys or girls. If the boy is seeing it, then they will behave the same way with their women, with their wives, with their partners. If a girl is seeing it, then they have very low expectations from their partners. They know that this is what norm was at home, so this is
Mm-hmm.
what to expect, and they may accept the bad behavior from their partners or their husbands. So for either one, it is terrible. And I think also, as I said, this is kind of generational, I feel, because you see these things in your subconscious mind. This is what happens when you grow up. You end up doing that, what you have seen in your house, what have you seen in your family's house. And I think I'm becoming more like my parents too, because somewhere I don't even realize that I'm becoming more like my father and my mother, whether it is good or bad. And same thing is
Mm-hmm.
happening in the bad behavior too. Sometimes you don't realize you become like your father and mother. If you've seen this in your family, it may happen. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
important. I would ask people to take help, whether it is go take therapy, because therapies and psychiatrists, psychologists can help you, give you the power that you need to make the right decision and show you what is the right thing. Because these people do need help and they need
Mm-hmm.
to be seen, but they may or may not agree to go to a therapist. But as a second part, as from your end, you should definitely go to a therapist and take some help because it will help clear your mind and make your decision stronger. One more item I have is that for women, continue to work, continue to love yourself and find something that you, because it's at the end of the day, if I didn't have my job, I didn't have my income, I would be in a very bad situation at this moment. The confidence to
Mm-hmm.
leave him or when he passed away, for me to continue to live and smile is only because I have amazing kids, but also because I have an amazing job. And I'm not dependent on anyone. I'm not, um, yeah. So I think that really does help a lot. So don't leave your job, continue with your job, irrespective, whatever. Just continue with
Mm-hmm.
your job.
What would be your message to all the moms?
I think the most important thing you can do to your kids is give them confidence. Tell them you love them, tell them you trust them, give them as much confidence you can because it's the confidence you give them when they're small is the confidence that they grow up with and it makes their life. We don't know what is ahead for them. We don't know what is ahead. It could be good, it could be bad. They may get some very good partners, they may get some very good jobs. They may go through some hardships, but the confidence we build today will live with them forever. So help them have conversations with them, tell them because they should not. And one more thing I want to say is domestic violence is not just physical. It could be in
Mm-hmm.
different forms, right? So it could be that someone is controlling, someone is watching you where you are going, controlling what you eat, what you're doing, where you're going, who you're meeting. It could be psychological, where they are saying things to you to make you look bad and really making you look terrible or making you feel terrible in some ways, right? So psychological abuse is also very big. So there are different kind of abuse. So be aware of these abuses, and if you see red flags, please take action on those red flags. It's not worth living with it because you're spoiling not only just your life but your kids' life as well.
Based on your experiences, Namita, whether it's your personal journey or your professional journey, is there any message that you would want to give to the viewers, men or women? What would that be?
I think I talked highly about what the message is for the woman, but I do have one more message for men. And the message is that I know most of the men love their moms. They love their moms, and it hurts them when they see their moms are not feeling well or not being taken or respected by their fathers or treated badly by anyone. So if you feel what you feel for your mom, just remember your wife is the mom for your kids. So just respect the fact that you are living with the mom of your kids. So give her that
Mm-hmm.
respect because she does deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Namita, thank you so much for sharing your life with us, your personal and your professional journey with us. There is a lot of learning in this conversation, and I hope it will be very beneficial to all our viewers. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for giving me
Thank
your
you.
time.